And welcome to the Penguin Rundown. I'm Zach Humphreys. No Pat Andrews because he's a little bit bitter, I think, about the loss. I'm a big Green Bay Packers fan. Pat, a big Steelers fan. Boo-hoo for him. But we got John McKelvey instead.
Yeah, I'm a Niners fan, so there you go.
We'll take a look at what the men's basketball team was doing. We'll go take a look at Butler first. Of course, Butler, the big success last year. Almost a packed house at the Beagley Center to watch this one. Ashton Ward and Damian Ergel getting it going early.
Yeah, absolutely. They came out, got down early, but didn't let that bother them.
7-4 early. Here comes Perry dishing it to Ward. Usually Ward shoots that three ball. This time goes right inside, scoops it up, and gets the foul.
Yeah, good thing he did. Notice the feet weren't set and got the good blocking foul there.
Here's Ergel underneath, getting the early deuce, and the Penguins are right there with Butler. But Butler, like they always do, they seem to always go on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, they go and they like to score points in the streaks, and they definitely did that a few times against the Penguins.
Butler, here it is again. This is Marshall way up top throwing it down. Penguins would come back. Kendrick Perry underneath. Kendrick really throwing in some good performances the last couple weeks.
Yeah, Penguins really, they just hung it around the entire game and didn't let any of the scoring by Butler bother them at all.
There's a three ball by Zach Hahn. There's another one. When he could step into it like that in rhythm, look out.
Yeah, very dangerous from the outside.
This is Shelvin Mack stepping into one from about 3 feet behind the line. That's why Shelvin Mack is one of the top players in the country.
Yeah, he really showed himself to earning that title there.
And Butler was up 10. Penguins trying to come back. Watch this one. This is a kick out to Ashton, and Ashton with the feet set way outside cuts it to 5 with about 3:30 to go, and the Penguins are going to try to go on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, Penguins made a nice late surge in this game.
And there's Ergel underneath with the quick left hand. Here's Vitas off the dribble. Here's the big shot. KP3, 4-3, puts them up 2 with 20 seconds left. Can they hang on?
Yeah, huge shot, and of course, giving Butler the ball with 20 seconds seemed like it wasn't much of a lead.
But the defense would stand. Look at the defense on Howard. He's double teamed, tries to fight some up. You're not going to get a foul call usually in those situations. Damian Ergel rips down the rebound, and eventually the Penguins, even though Ashton Ward could have made this lead a little bit longer for a little bit harder, for Butler to come back. Penguins would sneak out the victory by 2, 62-60 is your final. Youngstown State shoots 46%. Butler shoots at 40%. Great defense all night long by Youngstown State.
Great defense, and the Penguins finally close it out against Butler. They've had several games where they've been up at half or up late in the game, and they've just given away the lead. And this one they just held on and kept it going and finally beat Butler.
Yeah, Kendrick Perry had a good one, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Damian Ergel, though, 16 points, 9 rebounds, but the big statistic, 5 blocks. Such a defensive presence down there when he's on the floor. Blake Allen added 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And, of course, in the Horizon League, you know this like I do, John, it's quick-lived. You got to come right back Saturday hosting a good Valparaiso team. Deshaun Brooks trying to get going early.
Yeah, the Valpo, right after the Butler game, worried about the Penguins coming out flat, but they started out the game very, very well. This
Valparaiso team surprising a lot of people this year. They're second in the league, and a lot of it has to do with that man right there, Wood. He was unstoppable all night long. There's the 3 by Nate Perry, who got some early minutes. Nice to see from the freshman.
Yeah, as far as Wood goes, the Penguins, they really didn't have an answer for him the entire game, and it really, really showed up late.
There's Damian Ergel going up top. Right there, though, the Penguins, like we said, this time have an early 3-point lead here in the second half. But Valparaiso would come back. Here's Vitas Solskis from the outside. You said earlier, usually he likes that 15-18 range, not this time.
Yeah, he wasn't scared to take the outside shot there.
Valparaiso now down by 8. Youngstown trying to add on to it. Deshaun Brooks goes in, puts it up with 9 minutes left. Youngstown led by 10. But good teams usually go on late runs. They go to their best player, Wood, who puts it up and in on the reverse, and he was tough from here on out.
Yeah, this is where Wood really showed that he's one of the best players in the Horizon League this year, and he just tore the Penguins open right at the end of the game.
There's a quick steal from the freshman Perry. Of course, you're going to get a couple of those mistakes as a young gun with Kendrick. Wood went all the way to the rack coast to coast. Ashton trying to get a little too fancy, and then you get Bugs out in perimeter. He can fly, gives it to Wood on the easy layup.
Yeah, Wood just all the end of the second game, end of the second half seemed to be all Wood, all Valpo, and really just had the Penguins giving away the lead there.
Last chance to send it into overtime. Kendrick Perry got the friendly roll. It held onto the back of the rim and dropped in, so we go to overtime.
And back-to-back game-winning or game-tying shots from the Penguins, and it's good to see the clutch action at the end of games.
Penguins were in foul trouble a lot in this one. Ashton Ward got him off to the early start, 74-71, but foul trouble and the inside presence of Valparaiso really enabled them to get a lead late and hang on to a closely contested game all afternoon long.
Yeah, it would have been great to see back-to-back Horizon League wins against such foes as Butler and Valpo, but maybe the Butler win took a little bit out of them, but the Penguins did play well throughout the entire game.
Valparaiso wins at 86-78. 86-78. Final is in OT. YSU shot 48%. Valparaiso shot 48%. Vita Solskis turned in the double-double at 17 and 10. Kendrick Perry, 15 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds for the freshman. Deshaun Brooks off the bench added 15 points for the Penguins. And now let's take a look at what's going around in the Horizon League. Cleveland State, 21-4, 10-3 in the conference. They've been quite a surprise, but maybe not as much of a surprise as Valparaiso at 17-7, 9-3, John.
Yeah, Valpo has definitely been the big surprise. Cleveland State, they upset Butler to get into the national tournament a couple years ago. Not a huge surprise to anybody who's paying attention.
Wright State, 16-9 overall, 9-4. They're coming off a few nice wins. Milwaukee has passed up Butler, 8-5. Butler at 7-5. They've lost 5 league games already.
Yeah, 5 losses in conference. Very unusual for Butler. They're used to just walking straight all the way through to the conference finals and going straight into the dance.
Really, this middle of the Horizon League, the positioning, it's just going to be a toss-up all the way to the end. You see Detroit at 7-6, Green Bay at 6-6. Then you got a bottom feeder, Loyola, Youngstown State, UIC, 4-9, 2-11, and 1-11. Now let's take it into Youngstown State football. Of course, the disappointing year last year, but a lot of positive things you could take away from last year.
Yeah, it was disappointing as far as record-wise, but if you look at all the games as a whole and just don't look at the final score, the Penguins had a lot to look at. They were ahead in late game situations throughout the season. It was just one of those things where they couldn't really hold on. But with recruiting, it's clear that we're addressing that situation.
Let's take a look at what Coach Wolford wants to try to reestablish here at the university.
On campus, once a kid has a chance to come to campus, he sees our great facilities, he sees our commitment to education, he sees we have the support systems in place so that way they can succeed. And if we can get them on campus, it's 80% we're going to get them. If I can't get them on campus, then it's a long shot, and that's the way it'll always be. But these local kids realize now that we have everything that a lot of other schools do. How many schools in the state of Ohio can win a national championship? How many? About 3. You know who they are. Okay? So it's not hard to figure out.
Coach, just the size of the class, obviously this is much bigger than you typically see.
I mean, I think it's the name of the game. You got to recruit. You got to recruit so you have depth, and you got to create a competitive atmosphere. At the end of the day, there were some positions last year where we didn't have a competitive atmosphere, so we probably didn't have a chance to create a competitive environment. This class here should give us a foundation for the future, and that's why we made a commitment to bring in a lot of football players. We're excited about them. They're good. They're serious about their education. They want to be here, and I think our film speaks for itself.
And John, you got to love Coach Wolford. He just spills out confidence. Tell us about some of these local guys that he's has so much confidence in.
Well, he did a really, really good job recruiting locally. Fortunately, we have right up the block from YSU a 3-time state championship winning
nationally recognized.
Nationally
of course, with
recognized.
their Under Armour record, Under Armour jerseys now and the whole 9 yards.
Yes, well, their state championship winning Ursuline Irish football team. Right up the road, we recruited a couple of their good players in Conlin and Marcota, both on, Conlin on the offensive line and Marcota in the defensive side of the ball. We got a couple kids from Harding, Steve Zaborski from Fitch, who's a big lineman. We really have recruited the area well, and he makes a very good point. We are one of 3 schools in the state of Ohio that really have a chance of winning a national championship every single year. Not so much as of late, but with the way he keeps going and the way he's taking this program, it's really looking more like the glory days of the 90s under Jim Tressel.
And you look at a couple other things they've done, even in the Harding area too. Coach Sims did a great job, the offensive line coach, of getting some guys. Check out this stature, 6'4", 350 pounds. That'll get it done up front, huh?
That's a big kid, especially at 18 years old. It's only going to turn into more muscle and more size, and that's going to be a big disruptive force, especially on the defensive line.
His name is Ian Fulmore. Another guy is Damon Himes, who was getting some recognition from some MAC schools, but decided to stay here at Youngstown State. Anytime you could beat out those kind of schools, means well.
If we're fighting a different battle here at Youngstown State. We play playoffs. We don't go to a bowl game, and you don't get all the glitz and glam of going to a bowl game where you get that chance with Akron or Cincinnati and stuff like that, where these MAC teams can come and pluck the best talent. But YSU, they did a very good job of getting very good talent, especially in this very talented area of Ohio.
And somewhere where they lacked a little bit of talent was the defensive side of the ball. We touched a little bit about that already, but Coach Wolford did a great job of trying to fill some of those holes quickly. He brought in some really, really good talent in the secondary.
The one that really stands up to me is Jeremy Edwards from Los Angeles, California. He's a junior coming in, but he's a 6'1", 210-pound safety. That's really big for a safety. I can just see him going up and getting tons of picks. I'm also hoping he hits really hard too. But yeah, we got a bunch of good cornerbacks. They're not small and tiny and can be beaten downfield. We have just a very, very good recruiting class for Coach Wolf.
Another guy from California, a linebacker, and Aaron Morgan, 6'4", 215 pounds. He's trying to bring back those guys that can run sideline to sideline, because as you saw last year, a lot of those quick backs were beating the Penguins to the edge.
And a lot of times getting to the edge, and then just when we would get a hit on the edge, it wasn't necessarily taking the player down. But when you got a defensive end coming in like Trevor Strickland, who's 6'6", 6'6", 215, or not 215.
6'6",
245 actually. 6'6", 245. When that hits you, you tend to go down.
And we're going to hopefully a lot of running backs go down next season for the Penguins,
Absolutely.
and they can get some more wins under their belt. We'll take a look at what's going on next week on the Penguin Rundown. February 7th, 7 o'clock start. Men's basketball will be at Wright State. They're hot too, so don't miss that one. February 10th, 7:05. Women's basketball will be going against Butler right here at the Beagley Center.
And February 12th at 1:05 here at the Beagley Center, women's basketball take on Valparaiso, just like the men took on Valparaiso and Butler back-to-back. The women get their turn. And then later that day at 2 p.m., men's basketball at Cleveland State. They should be a good one with the Penguins taking on the Horizon League leading Vikings.
Always a tough place to play there at Cleveland State. For Zach Humphreys,
John McKelvey.
We'll see you next time on the Penguin Rundown.